Hello everyone and welcome to Lost in the Reel. Today I will be doing a quick review of the new Hulu erotic thriller Deep Water from the famed director of Fatal Attraction and Jacob's Ladder, who hasn't made a film in over 2 decades. Was Deep Water worth the wait? Let's talk about it. Deep Water is directed by Adrian Lin and written by Sam Levinson and Zach Helm, based upon the novel by Patricia Highsmith. It stars Ben Affleck, Ana de Armas, Lil Rel Howery, Grace Jenkins, Finn Wittrick, Tracy Letts, and Jacob Elordi. A well-to-do husband who allows his wife to have affairs in order to avoid a divorce becomes a prime suspect in the disappearance of her lovers. There is so much about Deep Water that truly had me excited for what was to come. First off, we have famed director Adrian Lin returning to helm a movie after over 2 decades away from the spotlight. And even better, he's returning to the genre that brought him his notoriety, the erotic thriller. Then we have Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas leading the film. And their chemistry just had to be dynamite, right? Because the performers did end up having a real-life, short-lived relationship that blossomed on the set of this film. And lastly, we have Sam Levinson, the creator of Euphoria, and Zach Helm, who wrote one of my favorite films of all time, Stranger Than Fiction, penning the screenplay based upon a famous novel from the author of The Talented Mr. Ripley. So there was more than enough here to get stoked for what Deep Water had to offer. Unfortunately, all of this culminated into a big, fat yawn from me. Deep Water follows married couple Vic and Melinda, who at first glance would seem to have it all. The perfect house, the well-to-do friends, the beautiful daughter. But not everything is all sunshine and rainbows in their home. Melinda is unhappy in their marriage. So to keep their family together, Vic has agreed that she may have affairs with whomever she pleases, just as long as she doesn't leave him. But as her lovers start to go missing or found murdered, Vic becomes the prime suspect. Now, don't get me wrong, there is much to admire about Lin's slow burn, let's call it drama. It is extremely well shot by the veteran director, and our 2 leads are quite good. You can definitely feel their chemistry, although it wasn't as electric as I would have hoped. And the biggest compliment that I can give Deep Water is that it most certainly got under my skin, and at times made it crawl. But the biggest problem I have with this movie is that our 2 lead protagonists, if you can call them that, are disgustingly vile human beings with little to no redeeming qualities. The only brownie points I could even think to offer is to Affleck's character Vic for mostly being a loving father. But besides that, these 2 characters are reprehensible. I hated spending time with the 2 of them and wish they would just both go crawl into a toxic waste hole somewhere and leave all of the poor saps around them to live their life in peace. Now, many films have succeeded with lead characters who are unlikable. Take David Fincher's Gone Girl, for example, a movie which you will not be able to help but compare this one to. Both of the lead characters in that film were pretty nasty and did some awful things, but the movie had so much more substance and something to say beyond the likability of its leads. Deep Water, unfortunately, doesn't have much more to offer than what is on the surface. It's not very thrilling or intriguing, and it's not even sexy for God's sakes, and it's supposed to be an erotic thriller. The arousal and the thrills sadly never come to fruition, only the uncomfortable skin crawling that I mentioned prior. And that's really as far as Deep Water is able to get. I don't want to give anything away, but I knew from the get-go if Vic was guilty or not, as it's made pretty obvious. So the mystery is never there, and in turn, no tension is ever built. I had kind of assumed that Disney and 20th Century Studios pulled this film from their theatrical slate because it was going to be a very hard R. I mean, this was directed by the guy who pushed the limits of the rating with 9.5 Weeks, Unfaithful, and Fatal Attraction. But honestly, they probably just sent it straight to Hulu because they realized it just wasn't worth the price of admission. By the end of Deep Water, I was left just feeling cold and empty. Now, once again, I don't think it's all bad, but this really should have been so much better with the talent involved. So I will be giving Deep Water 2.5 snails out of 5. This film moves along at a snail's pace, which leads me to believe that this film should have been called Deep Sleep rather than Deep Water. But seriously, beyond the film being well directed and acted, this erotic thriller is just neither thrilling nor sexy, with two lead characters that you might just want to murder with your own bare hands. Thank you so much for watching Lost in the Reel. What are your thoughts on Hulu's Deep Water? Do you think I'm being too hard on the movie, or did it also leave you feeling empty? And what is your favorite erotic thriller? Sound off in the comment section down below. And until next time, my friends, take care.